So let's get rid of our 1, 2, 3. My diagrams are so good. They're beautiful. You can see I did a lot of prep work with my diagrams. Art classes and shit. They get the point across. Anyway, next point. This is super important. And this is the lesson I didn't learn with T2. You need to feed yourself first. And I know I've already spoke about this, but I'm gonna speak about it again because it's written down here. You're in the business to get rich. You need to get money. You need to feed yourself first, not the company. I'm not saying don't reinvest in your company. I'm not saying not pay your company office rent. I'm not saying go bust. But with T2, I was so busy trying to stay afloat and putting all the money back into the company that I missed a chance to become extremely wealthy. I could have taken nearly $1 million liquid and just let the company debts get bigger and bigger and just let the whole fucking ship sink sooner. But at least I would have taken a whole bunch of money out instead of prolonging the inevitable, which eventually happened anyway, and having no money. You're in the business to get rich. Feed your business, of course, but do not be shy or ashamed to get rich yourself. I know like there's a lot of billionaires and stuff which are intricately linked to their corporations, like their jets and their boats and their houses are all through their company and all that shit. We're not looking to do that. We're hustlers. We're looking to get money. So if there's money sitting in the company account, it should be in your account. Maybe you don't want to pay the taxes, but you should find a way around that anyway, because trust me, there's ways. You can investigate that yourself. But you need to be in a position where after a few years of running your business, if something happens in the industry or the business goes wrong, you're sitting on money. You don't want to be like I was in T2, where when the business went wrong, I'd put everything back in and I had no fucking money and it all blew up in my face and I was broke. Look after yourself. You're in this to get rich. Don't be afraid to fucking take the cash. A lot of people are like, oh, my company. And because it's their baby, it's their child, they put all the money back into their company and they look after the company first. Look after yourself first. A company ain't real. A company's pieces of papers and a website. You're a real person. You got fucking bills to pay. You got fucking a mouth to feed. Look after yourself before the company. That's what a hustler will do. I'm not saying neglect your company. I'm saying keep that in mind. If the company blew up today, what would I be sitting on? If the answer is not enough, keep that in mind next time a big invoice gets paid. Scoop a little couple grand off the top. You need to look after yourself. It's very, very important. Next one. This ties into the lesson before it. Debt, in many cases, isn't real. Now, it depends on the business you run, because this is subjective. But I'll tell you a story. I knew a Jewish guy who sold everything. He basically was doing an Alibaba business, getting bullshit like wind up flashlights and crap. This was during T2, so 15 years ago, before Alibaba was a website, before everyone understood what dropshipping was, before Amazon. He'd go to these trade shows in China, buy wind up torches and get them into stores in England, superstores, and sell them on his website and whatever. He was making big money. Now this Jewish guy wouldn't pay an invoice until you threatened to take him to court. So you'd invoice him for something, anything. He'd ignore you. You'd invoice him again, he'd ignore you. Final warning, ignore. You'd have to invoice him for 4 months, and eventually you said, okay, we're going to court over this invoice, then he'd pay. Because he could always find a new supplier. So if a supplier got fresh after that, he just found someone else. But his attitude was very much like, debt isn't real. As long as I don't have to pay money out of my bank, my business will always be successful, even though I'm operating at a super low margin. So a lot of people are concerned, oh, debts, oh, da-da-da. Look, debts ain't real for a few reasons. One, it takes a long time for someone to collect debt against you. That's the first thing. Two, if you never want to do business with that person or that company again, there's no point in fucking even paying them at all. Three, once people get desperate for their money, you can often do deals on debt. So if it goes to a debt collection company or you owe someone 10 grand and you call them up and say, look, I'm about to go out of business. I owe you 10 grand. I can pay you 3. If you won't take 3 and settle the debt, then I'll pay you nothing and you can take me to court, but I'm gonna close the business, so you'll get nothing. It's up to you. Give people that ultimatum. They'll take the 3 grand. I did this recently with a couple of apartments for some cam girls. I was renting some apartments for some cam girls. Cam girls left. Didn't need the apartments anymore. I owed 3 months rent. I said, it was only like, I don't know how much, 2 grand a month in total, so it was like 6 grand. Spoke to the landlord and said, hey man, I can pay you 2 grand. He goes, you owe me 6. It's like, yeah, I know. But the girls have left. He didn't know the girls were cam girls. So the girls were supposed to pay me. They didn't pay me. So now I'm in the hole, you're in the hole, we're in the same boat. I can give you 2 grand out of my pocket, it's all I've got. If it's not enough, then take me to court. He goes, yeah, I will take you to court. I said, okay, take me to court, no problem. But I have no money to pay you, so. Hung up the phone. Next day, can you do 3 grand? I said, no, bro, I'm sorry, I got 2 grand. That's all I literally have. I'll see if I can do any more. 2.5, bank paid it. 6 grand down to 2.5. What choice did he have? Take me to court? He wasn't getting no money. I told him I didn't need the apartments. Can't kick me out, I'm not there. I already left. So don't be thinking about, worried about debt. You need to be worried about one thing in your business, which is, I'm not even gonna draw it because you should know what it is by now. Money in. Debt doesn't matter if enough money's coming in. Nothing matters if money's coming in. I see people panicking and worrying about debts. Fuck debts, get in debt. Get in debt if it's gonna get money in. You're a hustler because you know what's not real compared to cash? Debts. If you had a company and you had a whole bunch of assets and you could lend $3 million against your company and you can get it from the bank, take the 3 mil. Then listen to the lesson before, take 2.5 mil, put it in a personal account somewhere, hide it, then try and carry on working your company, try and pay it off. And if you can't, who gives a shit? You'll work out a deal with the bank in the end. You need to be about yourself. You can't be afraid of debt to get there. If I had to get in debt to get money in, and I didn't have to repay it anytime soon and money was pouring in, I'll take it. Money in is primary. Debt is not nearly as scary as people pretend it is, especially with a limited company. What does limited mean? Limited liability means limited liability. The company's debts are not your debts. They're not yours. Fucking chill. In 9 times out of 10, you could close the company, open it again, clear the debts off, and have the same phone number and same fucking website. Just chill out about debt. I get so many questions from business guys. Well, but I'm in debt, or I owe this, I owe that. Fuck that. How much money's coming in? Fix that. Stop worrying about other shit, because it's not important. I already mentioned this, don't pay unless you have to, but reputation management. So this is another key point. Reputation management. So with the guy with the apartments, the reason I pulled that move on him is because he's not a Romanian. And a Romanian, I'm very well known here and it'd be bad for my reputation. The guy who owns his apartments was Turkish and he lives in Turkey. So my reputation management, I thought, okay, well, he can't damage my reputation, so there's no reason to pay him. The Jewish guy, the reason he didn't pay any of the invoices until I threatened to take him to court is because he didn't need one supplier more than once, so he didn't care. He found a new supplier, so he didn't need a good reputation. Don't damage your reputation, of course. If there's a supplier you need a reputation with, then you must pay them. If you don't pay someone, they're gonna put all over the internet that you don't pay, then maybe you need to pay them. But if there's a way you can manage your reputation to stay intact and not pay, then they can fucking wait. Fuck them. Being nice guy, it ain't worth it, man. I'm telling you, when I ran T2 and I had invoices outstanding and I had staff to pay and I had no money in the bank and I was chasing all these companies to pay their invoices, the big companies, the big boys, they didn't care. They didn't care about me. Yeah, we pay invoices, takes up to 90 days, up to 3 months to pay an invoice. It's a bank transfer, it takes 2 minutes. That's how all these other companies are, so you can be the same. Make them fucking wait, fuck them. Next, this is a key point for staff management. HR